Eric in Kansas wants to know how to be patient with theists when they're not remembering what they just said in a conversation. So welcome.
Matt's going to write a book about that.
Very quick detour, and I promise to be brief. I was this morning catching up on episodes I missed. I happened to catch the very sweet moment with Matt and Arden where Matt said, "Oh, we're dating." And it was the smile that leapt to Arden's face at that moment was just so pure and adorable. Just inject that shit straight into my veins. That was so cute. But yeah, anyway. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to yell down and let her know that people were talking about her on the show, but she probably heard it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the reason I called was I sort of embarrassed myself by getting flustered. It was actually slavery. Again, I got dragged into this discussion I didn't want to have, because someone said I was an atheist, and then all of a sudden everyone in the circle was in my face. And they're saying, well, how do you have objective morality? Morality is subjective, blah, 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 it needs to be objective. And then 4 minutes later, we're on to a new topic, and it's slavery. And they said, well, you have to consider at the time and at the place and within that culture. And in my head, I'm going, don't you remember this saying, objective morality? Like, that's subjective, right? Like, the time and the place and the culture, that's subjective.
Yeah.
And then it happened again when they were talking about, like, Hitler was an atheist, which doesn't matter. It matters what everyone who was actually doing all the killing believed in, which is they were either, it's Germany, the birthplace of Protestantism. They were either Lutheran or they were Catholic. Like 50% of the Waffen-SS were Catholic. Mm-hmm. And they were out here killing all these people. And then I'm saying, that's what happens when you put atheists in charge.
I do want to rush you along a little bit, Eric, because we do have some other callers that are waiting in the queue. We're running low on time. So what was the crux of the question?
Actually, before he answers that, I want to say that I wish in my discussions about slavery in the Bible that someone would say to me, oh, at that time and in that place and in that culture, because I would say, okay, in this time, in this place, in this culture, not only is slavery immoral, but we should be granting rights to the LGBTQ community, no matter what your fucking holy book says about it. Stick that in your pipe and smoke
it. Fair. But yeah, eventually I was just like, you keep changing your arguments, and it's like nailing jelly to a tree. Don't you not remember, like 7 minutes ago, you said, well, atheists are always the minority, you're the weird ones. It's the argument ad populum. And then suddenly you're saying, well, atheists were in charge of Germany during these killings. And then,
which isn't true. Hitler was a Catholic. Hitler was a Catholic and talked about it in private and was supported by the Catholic Church, not just for public. Didn't go out and pretend to be a Christian for that. Wrote about it in his fucking diaries. Now he was, confused about all kinds of things and into the occult and whatever else. But Hitler wasn't an atheist. And by the way, it wouldn't matter if it was.
Well, I was just
there are
say,
plenty of shitty, terrible atheists in history who've done all kinds of things. It just happens that Hitler wasn't one of them. And to rip off Jimmy Carr, one good thing about Hitler, he killed Hitler.
Also true. But yeah, I just kind of lost it, and I was like, why do you keep changing your position? There's no consistency from like 1 minute to the next. First you're saying objective morality, and then you're saying, well, we got to consider slavery at the time and place. Same thing with like the rape arguments from Deuteronomy and from Exodus, the laws on, a man and a woman lie together, shall be stoned, etc. Well, the man had to marry his rape victim to take care of her, because in that culture at that time. And I'm like, what happened to the moral?
I think I have an answer for you, Eric. I know we do that, but the answer is compartmentalization and dissonance. That's the answer. The other thing is that's the answer.
To be a little bit forgiving, because it's not that what you're describing isn't somebody being forgetful or not remembering what they said. This is how theism thrives, Christianity in particular, that there's a reason there's apologists. There's a different justification that they have to come up with for each of the little inconsistencies. And when the justification for inconsistency 1 causes a problem with inconsistency 2, that doesn't matter because God works in mysterious ways and blah, 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 blah. And so
that's the dissonance.
The best thing you can do to answer your actual question that you asked with the call screener about how to deal with people who are not remembering what they say, take notes.
Okay. That's fair.
I got to get on because there's one more call to get. We're almost out of time, but thanks so much, Eric.